Nsem-Pii TV nie.
Yanko na kokutie Nsem-Pii a owura Kofi Bentil watimu aka afa eye John Dramani Mahama 24-hour economy na wose eno no any game changer ba besesa oman konkon Ghana na babia ade no akwakoduru no de 24-hour economy no meno kasa yi atonso ma enye asamketwa na ensem a owura Kofi Bentil edigu ho edoso wose na John Dramani Mahama sika na ombepa wi anasa ede etia ade na 1D 1F wo ho na wo pese 24-hour economy now say no de onfa onsanka na edien na ade ba 24-hour economy no abusua ensem a owura ikan ede edoso na NDC amayiko no say omobehia $4 billion na wo de ahyase aye sa 24-hour economy no yankwe na ensem a owura Kofi Bentil odigu ho na wo che Ghana fo nyina say sa 24-hour economy no sebe empreduasa eye kwan a NDC amayiko pese wo de bebo Ghana yenkote bimra yeba Nsem-Pii TV yenentifo ebeto aso.
We want to do
excessive branding,
or we will just do some things to show at elections that we have done something. Kofi, let me come to you before, because I'm reading about how many chip compounds that are going to be built, and I'm like, okay, so you may not like Akufo-Addo, you may not like his government, they've done bad things, but they started a project, the hospitals project. Can't we look at that, finish them up, rather than these chip compounds everywhere again, so that you can say, beat your chest at elections and say, we did this number of chip compounds?
That's our problem.
Yes.
Right? Our governments think that they need to come in and say big, lofty things. And from Free SH's time, when we started, being very forceful about what has been said in the manifesto, we said something. We said that, look, when they say it on a political platform, they don't really say it after the thinking. They say it because the moment requires them to say something bombastic. But after they say it and it catches, then they are forced to implement it. Then when they realize that they will have to implement this, otherwise they'll be held to it, then they create something to represent what they've said. Then you end up with a document like this. And Prof. Bope is a fellow in Imani. We have had some discussions, but we have not actually analyzed this as Imani. I'm saying this because he said half of the things I wanted to say. And if we had met and said something about it, it would have come out officially that, but that's half. When you process development this way, you end up with a lot of branding, with a lot of glossy magazines, and then by the time you finish, nothing is achieved. However, there's a curious feature of all of them, NDC, NPP. They access the funds and they spend those funds. We run, and by the way, please let me make this clear. I am not against the 24-hour thing. Sometimes we will sound critical and look, governance is hard. We live in a country which is not developed and unreasonably so. So every government must do something, be seen to be moving, and this is not a bad thing.
Yes.
What we are trying to say is that this is more of the same. And what we are trying to point out is, let me start this way. If it goes the way they've represented it in the glossy magazine 24-hour, we will end up achieving less than 30%. Let me tell you what we are going to do. We run something called the Excuse Republic. We have already given the excuse for our underdevelopment. It's in the document. And that's what we said we all learn in primary school. Because of import, we import more than... That's the excuse, republic. Okay? And when we create the excuse for the... we give the excuses for the underdevelopment, then we give excuses for fanciful ideas. Because we are not importing, we'll do import substitution. And we'll build factories, and we'll do this. 1D, 1F, many of the things said there are here. And if you trace it backwards like Prof said, you'll see them there. So excuse for fanciful ideas, which we don't achieve. And then we make excuses for waste and stealing. That's the 4 billion you are hearing. Any analyst will tell you that if you look at some of the things that they've talked about, 4 billion is not going to cut it at all.
They're looking to start with a pilot with 50, firms.
Always what happens. We are going to do a pilot. That's what I'm saying. That's the excuse for waste and stealing. So they will access $300 million or so. Okay, those. Did you see people go and dig dugouts and call them dams under 1D1F? That's the excuse for waste and stealing, and then we end up having proofs about them. Then we always do something. We create excuses for building institutions and passing new laws. You hear they are going to set up an authority.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Authority.
I also don't do it. You don't need an look. My brother here was asking them in Parliament, where are the legal framework, whatever it is. We have enough laws in this country to deal with everything that we want to do without setting up new laws. Every time we just set up institutions, you know what? Ghana has a large government. Yeah. And I'm talking about from district level to regional level.
And the cost is
huge. And it's extra. They suck up 80% of all the revenue we make. And they're supposed to be taking care of me. I'm telling you, more than 50% of the citizens in Ghana live and do not detect much government intervention in their daily lives. Yes. And there are people outside Accra who the government doesn't know from birth to death. Build new authorities, brand new offices, new furniture from China.
I thought, Kofi, that the IMF program included and compelled us to free setting up new institutions. So Akufo-Addo's government began, if you had a legislation you wanted to promote, and it meant that you have to set up another commission authority, they didn't take it.
IMF, we call them adult supervision.
Yes.
Okay, they come, they do the things we must do, which we know how to do. As long as they are providing the adult supervision and keeping their thumbs on us, we do all of them. We always pass. We get out with flying colors. But you know what we do? They create parallel systems that bypass the IMF. And in fact, at a point, even after HIPIC, when we used to be going for those things, they come with conditionalities forcing us to do it. That's adult supervision. We said we won't go there again. We went to the international markets, borrowed 30 billion plus, and we ended up in trouble. So we create parallel systems that bypass the IMF. It's exactly what I'm saying here right now. Now look, we've been doing the same things, and then when we finish, we end up having proofs because all those pilots and things spend the money, we don't see anything happen, and then we make excuses for why these things did not happen. Okay, look, why are we not going to, for instance, pick up 1D1F, okay, and try and make it work? It's a good thing to build down.
Because we have reportedly spent 541 million in that, affecting about 169 enterprises. And all these enterprises, almost all of them are struggling.
Yes. So, and that's government money.
And they are asking, how do they feed into this?
How?
What next from here?
Why? Why are we not going to pick them up and connect them? All right? And let me say something. We don't have time to go through this, but I'm just going to make broad points. Back in 2010, okay, we came up with Atimani, it was a rubric. And in development policy, we have showstoppers and facilitators. Showstoppers, and I'm using the ordinary term. When we are talking consulting, we use different terms, but for the public, showstoppers are things that if you don't have, nothing will happen. All right? If they are not there, forget it. Nothing will happen. And then we have facilitators. If you don't have them, something can happen, but if they are present, things will be fast. Okay? Showstoppers. If you don't have water, all right, nothing will happen. All industries need water. If you don't have energy, nothing will happen. If you don't have good roads and telecommunications, nothing will happen. If you take health, health is crucial, but health is a facilitator. Okay, there are people in the rural areas that never go to.
Are you saying take care of these?
Can I
take care of these? Take care of these, and a 24-hour economy
will take care of itself.
Will take care of itself.
But let me wrap up on that.
Will spring up automatically.
Let me wrap up on that. See, again, that's why I said there's no time. You are talking about 6 billion. Okay, I can tell you because we did this work when Aqua Vitens Run came here. Okay, and what we found out at that time was that we needed $2 billion plus 4 years to provide water to all the spaces and homes within Accra and Tema. Listen, $2 billion, and if you had all that $2 billion today, you need 4 years to do that because what? You dig trenches, lay pipes, that kind of thing. What I'm saying is this: if you take water, if you take roads, rail, and if you take energy alone, you need more than 6 billion.
Right.
All right. If you take construction today, go to East Legon, go to West Legon, and I'm using them because they are supposed to be the higher places. If you leave the main road, the road right next to it is a dirt road.
That's right.
Okay, so if you go, the roads that lead to go to industrial area today. Go to Tema, the places where we are doing production.
Yes.
Where you are taking the time. The roads are not good.
Right.
Here's the thing. Let me finish, please. I mean, take the 6 billion, okay? Take wait. I know you are going to say it's there, but I mean,
no, it's not that it's there.
Let me finish.
All right.
Take the 6 billion. Give yourself. Say we're going to do roads. We're going to do water. We're going to strengthen our energy so that every rain doesn't lead to light off.
Thank you.
That alone for the 4 years will help us.
Yes,
the rest will take care of
and you don't need to set up an authority.
I don't need.
Daniel, muntie ani ye pa Ghana for muntie ni. The obi ayi de be fe no de once na ba ye. Me ozu be pass ma make no. Muntie ni ye. Me who be da o me life mu say MPs akọ various constituencies akọ file say omo gina MPPD mu ami akoto aba eyi president or presidential candidate na ekọ ya to aba wie ye no. There are a series of intimidations and attacks going on. NDC fuatie kroma me catch us me preempte before the election say I foresee say NDC for be intimidate MPP for the kind Emma me say me come Mahama fie to see how they will react and all that. The next day you saw Basintal in the boys.
But me san twa adwene mrechi na man for nti the person me kan
Koso.
In 2008, it took Akufo-Addo a long time, less than 72 hours to come out and concede for President Mills.
Exactly.
Because he needed to make sure say MPs party they have solidly collated their results so that the party will have a conclusive resource that every Tom, Dick and Harry will understand what is going on.
Exactly.
Because as a leader, great qualities of leaders, they say, you bring your people along with you.
Yeah.
You bring them along with you. Me what?
Exactly.
Ana them say me kasa me
Twaso Nsem-Pii.
I'm van example.
Let Owusu be Owusu.
Debi
Odo nsasha odem rufem.
Nyakura me bunko to kasa because they say no one way obi akasa me dem sakura ko obi ani wo studio ho. Wow, enti me hu bida for the first time in history. Na me yato abawie na me free me kroma zante akema duru kumase. Me be hwe parliamentary seat anko ye me be hwe the other course of presidential me bowra dem na me she dem na me be hwe TV ade achia you see a presidential candidate appear Bontezo abe declare concede defeat. I was surprised for the first time. It's not just for the fact that you have a data and you concede or whatever. There's a lot that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yen ya dodon pre. Can you nyame ne di ne ho afofie? Any MPC bia omo wo ayini mu a nyame ne di omo ho afofie a ka NDC for the Juada brane omo brada. Ebi ne si wa blakumai because if you had wait as a leader now chain ma party for no de yen crofo ko e ma ye make sure say you protect your ballot. Now every parliamentary candidate yeah. What was the rush to go and accept or concede the defeat? At least you will definitely come out because the results will automatically, and with the social media and with the media coverage across, everybody will eventually know the winner. Even if you come out to concede or declare 42 hours or 45 hours or 24 hours or 48 hours could have been enough.
Yeah.
Or less, more than 36 hours or maybe more than that. Or maybe 50 hours or 52 hours. By Yehusa. And no can be na blekuma. Yehu our body count na basil talene and Crawford do that. You go on my electoral commissioner no oh yeah they were on the neck of certain key people in the electoral commission. Leadership was powerless. That's the point I'm making.
We were powerless. MPP was paralyzed because of the concession of our leader. I said, "Where's your car? I attended I attended you go to about Kufuado, Elusu 2008, or about until we declare no immediately. Now we have parliamentary seat now. Resource ba Kufi Korea so or chamber ate so aprapra baby da aprapra mensu any or chamber ate any ba me enko na meduru ya na ntwa nsuo meduru ya. We need to declare anything can happen to you as a parliamentary candidate.
Yeah.
Meboa.
Sure.
Meboa.
Yes,
as a leader, you bring along your people with you. Let them know, okay, let me wait. Let's see how the results, even though I have lost as a candidate, I have the data. Let me wait and make sure all the results are a free no one, a children, Ghana and children in Chiasso. You can say will be in children in Chiasso, every corner of this country. Parliamentary candidate be our results be amra. Now you interpret kumadiano.
Yeah.
There be a free no your free be remote calls and immediate calls. Yeah, addressing the problem. Yeah, who say yeah party na yeah con kind. Yeah, addressing issues no head on. Then a bedroom sabri ya bedri. Anamebwa. It we sure say ka you concede defeat ya. Ki concede defeat ya. Ananka ebia leader no am concede defeat ya. Earlier on and change bibia. Cannot don't prank you and cosina bo. Miami me penance bruta. Kia cosina bo.
Yeah.
Meboa.
Yeah.
I not don't prank you and cosina bo.
The same thing. Patrick Boama Pano the same thing. Also KB Tono. Nedia cry a jiff in same way.
That means the NDC heard that they have considered even it's a psychological. That means that will lead another consider defeat, you know. It affects every Tom, Dick and Harry across. Obia, Bibia, no koso. Bibia, everybody. So we a leader, you judge the mood. You judge if a leader you don't judge the mood of your people. Now so person we a leader. Hey, I will see this happening to Honorable Kennedy Akompre Japan when he becomes the flag bearer of the MPP. This will never happen. Obe accepted defeat when he knows that he's down and every chip is down. That is the point I'm making. It's a leadership failure. Leadership straight up. MPP for we should accept that. It's a leadership failure. Me can't say and we flag bearer. Akusua who could declare results who could do 2 months you lose here upa busomo you call busu fie na asem si ami ozu mpa me can say the tie
o sine pay.
Oh yes entiable kuma mama no you should not blame anybody, you should blame leadership
because they say obi crack say it is possible so bet me kwa busu
Ghana ni bia pa on church results no tama you declare results no na obi a oti ha bia nche before you leader no ma me declare na NDC4 was a little bit not comfortable coming out, not comfortable moving out. Basintale and his boys not moving to every polling station, going to protect the ballots. No muchinchini and za. Immediately a flag bearer bab until they declare results. You know, say, well, what happened? Less than 48 hours. Look, so what happened in the country?
Yeah.
After we MP now results my now you free results no we will be MP now results back very so chamber yate papa baby da. Ba mi enko nkura na se ho no o de amicho no se hwiabo so nkwanta ayi anim amma obi ni nkura na se ho no na mamedu ye ho na betu samia ho na be say yes ya jija o leader na jawasi asubunum. That is what happened because we didn't take care of our boys. I told you from the beginning. Your boys na no mo so be boy ho ban a almost be protected, you know. There was a break in security. Nobody or no one shall no one bem one fino. Who got to abano one factor who boys are almost be these are the boys that on book and Japan started taking care of them. Some of them you walk massive many tria. Yeah, the ballot paper koshe baby. The ballot paper say the ballot papers are koshe baby. It was to hotel.
Yeah.
Those days MPP boy is a group who Ashanti Region City Hotel. Many honorable Kennedy Japan and all. He went in his car that time, 100,000 Ghana and they said those days, 2012 elections. What do you say? He will not back down. He will wait for every MP to get